Hi everyone and happy Monday. We have this really pretty floral wreath. This is from Secret Garden and obviously, well maybe not, from the Johanna Basford Weekly Planner. Now I figured I would do a autumnal look. I hope you're not getting too bored of autumnal pictures, but I'm really into my autumn, and I picked up my Schpirerr Farben pencils because look at that. Look at that palette of lovely autumnal looking colours. So I thought we could have a go. Now what I figured I'd do first is do the flowers first and then decide whether to do the leaves just green or whether to do them in sort of browns, yellows, reds, the autumn colours. But because I want the florals to be sort of oranges and yellows probably, then that might be a bit too much to do the leaves similarly. So we'll just make a start and see how it all goes really. I am going to come in a lot closer because it's quite a detailed page, and we'll just work our way around the wreath, probably starting at the top here. I'm going to start with these. Now these look to me quite like buttercups, and I realise that buttercups aren't an autumn flower, but I just thought I would just go with it and just make it fun, light-hearted, and just do the colours that I thought would work nicely. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with the bumblebee, which is a fairly light yellow, and just do all of every flower of these ones of this shape, but not too hard because I want to put other colours on top. So if you press too hard, that makes it a lot more difficult, if not impossible, to do. Now if you don't have this set of pencils, I have done some comparison swatch charts for some brands. If you want more, let me know. If you want a comparison to your favourite brand of pencils, but I will have a link in the video description showing you where to find those on my Ko-fi shop. It's all free. I know someone said the other day that they wish they could give me more money, and that you can donate if you wish, but there's no obligation. I enjoy making the charts. The swatch charts I do pretty much for me, and just share them, and the comparison charts not so much for me, but for sometimes people request them and I want to help them out. But you can help me in other ways. If you want to still give something, then just watch one of my videos, like it, leave a little comment, follow me on social media. Those sorts of things all help as well. I'm using the hot sun. I'm going to do the flower centre part with this. So it's not just about financial gain. Obviously, obviously I need a little bit of something to help me out, but many people are very generous, and I do get money from the affiliate link. So if you're buying something on Amazon, for example, and you use my affiliate link, then I get a little bit of commission. So that's another way you can help me without spending extra money. And also when you watch the videos, watch the adverts, and I only get paid if you watch the adverts. So that's another way. I know they can be really irritating. I know. I do that too. I'm watching somebody and I think I'll watch their advert, give them some money, and then a really irritating or really long advert comes on. I'm like, no, sorry person. It's just, or it comes up at just the wrong time. This is the golden yellow. I'm going to do a little bit, see where these are turned over here, and do a little bit under there to make it look like there's a bit of shadow going on. I'm not sure how much it's going to show up. Also on the sides like this, to try and make it look a little bit shaped. So as I say, we're adding a bit more of other colours now. So it just little bits, it all adds up and it all helps. So, and thank you to everyone that does do all those things. It's very much appreciated, and it allows me to buy the boring old things like the hard drives and the equipment and the pencils and things. And then, although I don't tend to buy many pencils, like this set I was gifted, and I very much appreciate that. And the castle sends me pencils, as Arteza has, things like that. But when things like my polychromas or my prismas run out, I have to replace them, because those and Derwent, their company's too big, they don't send stuff out. But it's all good and it's all lovely. and I just feel, sorry, I've got to wipe my nose, getting emotional, my nose is running. No. I just feel very blessed that I can do this job and make enough to, you know, justify doing it without going out to work. We did go through a bit of a tough time. Well, when husband first dropped his working hours, oh, the sun is out. I'm going to have to shut the blind. When husband first dropped his working hours, we were quite worried about the cost of everything and how we would manage. We started cutting back massively. I'm hoping it's going to brighten a bit. I think that's okay. And but we managed to do some jiggling, and everything was okay. So we have cut back, and in certain areas, and we've also I want the middles to be a bit darker. I'm going to go for a sort of almost brown. Actually, the burnt sienna here, that is brown. I think that might stand out a little bit more. I know it's not going to end up looking like a buttercup because they haven't got brown middles, but I just feel like it's a little bit too dull, should we say, not colourful enough. Yeah, he pays less tax now, so that's helped a little bit, and still manages, yeah, and we just balanced everything, which is good because he didn't want me to stop doing what I was doing either. I'm going to grab the ginger brown. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Here we go. And I'm going to use this for these berries. Can you see these berries here and here and here? Now, I would love to put lots of different colour into them and make them really, you know, but they're really little. So I'm just going to colour them in, really. There we go. But yes, he likes me to do this because he knows that it helps people, and he thinks that's really important. In his job, he does too. And I don't know if I could cope very well with the job outside of the home, to be honest, because I'm just moving my pencils out of the way so I can push my book up, because I do so much here for everybody. You know, my husband is, I guess he's considered to be disabled, my son is, you know, and although it's not loads of work, like not compared to some people, my goodness, but it's just nice to be here for them, to help them when they need it. This is autumn orange. Like this morning, you know, we were shopping and my husband suddenly had he couldn't cope moment, you know, and I had to just step in and take over, really, you know, sort of with regards to thought, what are we doing, where are we going, what do we need, all that sort of thing, you know. So it's just nice to sort of be here to help. My son's having it's lovely. He's doing some. Yesterday he said, I'm not doing any uni work today because I'm really tired after my first week back. And I was like, that's completely up to you. You know, you're in charge of you. You know what you've got to do, and if you need a break, you know. So he had a day off. And now I'm just seeing how many of these there are. Oh, I think there's two. There's some. I thought that there's one here as well. I think they look similar. I'm just gonna bring it out a tad so we can see all three of them. I think I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3 the same, and these the same. So he took this little bit of time, and then I'm gonna use a peach, I think. There we go. I'm going to do the whole thing in peach and then darken some bits, you'll see. And then this morning I said, look, we've got to go shopping, I've got to do the cleaning. But if you're working, you can, you know, just sit and work. And he's like, well, I really need to do some work today. And I was like, no, that's fair enough. So he sat down and was reading articles and doing various bits and pieces that he needed to do for his homework and for his assignment. And then when we had lunch, he was chatting away about it, getting all excited about what he'd found, and it was just, he hasn't been like that at all since he started uni. So last year he wasn't like that at all, so it's so nice. And he says his brain fog is cleared since he's changed his, what he's taking med-wise. I'm just so happy. So brilliant. And then we sat together at lunchtime. I'm going to do the outline. I've still got the same peach colour in my hand. The outline around here in a darker shade. And we sat there and did a bit of the cryptic crossword as well. You know, still using his brain and mine. Make sure I use my brain too. Interestingly, when I saw my brother-in-law last weekend, he said he does something to use his brain. Oh yeah, he said he's left-handed, so he writes upside down and backwards to try and keep his brain going. He reckons that, I don't know if he said it was harder for a left-handed person, I don't know. Anyway, I can't do that. I just couldn't, because I can't visualise. I don't think I could just know what to do where, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so I was like, yeah, that you know, it's really good to do something, whatever it might be. I'm going to grab the maple and do this sort of bottom section here. So I want it to be a little bit darker right at the base, and then a bit light towards the tips. It's not going to show up massively because it's quite a pale colour, but you can definitely see the difference. I'm not entirely happy with how that peach looks just sitting there on its own, really. So I'm just trying to, now this one, I'm just going to do these little tiny bits down here. There we go. Now the next colour, I think, yeah, I'm going to go, whoops, with another yellow. Can't get hold of it. This is a Sun-Kissed, it's called, but you can see it's quite a brownish yellow. I'm going to do it for this next layer of petals. Again, a little bit dark at the bottom. I think I'm going to sharpen it. It's such a little detailed page. And then do a little bit more here. And less as we go up. Now, when I first looked at this page, I thought it would be a one video, a quick, you know. But I'm not sure if it will be now. I don't want to rush it, you know. I want to enjoy every little flower, every little detail. So it may be longer. It just depends how long have we even been, 12 minutes? I just don't know. I'm not in a rush. I hope that you're not. So we'll just make of it what we will. Now, I am... Did I do that one? Am I going a bit mad? Sun-Kissed. Surely I need to do these as well. So apparently I am in a rush. And I'm trying to keep them a little bit darker down here at the base. But if it isn't, it isn't. It's not, yeah, it's not vital. There we go. Now on this one we've got these little loopy bits just over the black. I'm going to go back to my peach and do those because like on the outside I think we can match it up. Just put quite a hard layer on if you can. Find a good point on the pencil, it lays it down more intensely. Just bring that bit in. Right, now with the top, the final section, we aren't going to do anything on this one because it's finished, but this section, I think I am going to go for this orange, and just fill this in. I'm going to do it quite lightly to start with, see how it looks. Yeah, so we went to farmer's market this morning. It was quite busy. It was cold, but dry, so that was nice. And my neighbour's got an art exhibition in the town, so I wanted to go and look at that. Now, I knew it wouldn't be open, but the gallery it's in has great big windows out onto the street, so you can see inside. So I thought, that's fine, I shall go along and I will just look through the window. We're going to do these 4. I'm just checking. Yes, it's only, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to start, we're going to move, yeah, bronze I think I'm going to start with, but keep it light. Okay, oops, keep it light and do all of it, but as I say, gently. But unfortunately, the way the light was, it was very bright morning actually, because it's not cloudy. The light was shining off the windows, so I couldn't see the pieces particularly well. So I need to go back and have a little look at that at some point over the weekend, because I want to go and have a look at her pictures. And there's also an exhibition in another place in the town, and it's the last day tomorrow. So I need to go to that as well, because my husband went to both of these to their opening nights, but I haven't been. And I also could do with going to a supermarket that's quite close to the one. So I said to my husband, you know, we can go there. You can go and have a look around, look at more things. It's actually in the museum. There's a museum and art gallery joined together. I've just sharpened this bronze, and I'm going to go around the edge of the petals with it. And I want to make it really intense, so I'm going to layer it up a lot. Okay. So I said he could stay in the museum and have a little look, and I'll have a walk to the supermarket. There's a park. The museum is in a park. It's because it's an old house, and they owned all the park is the garden. There's an arboretum. It's very small, and lots of parkland, big lake and things like that. It's lovely. And so I can walk through the park and then go pop to the supermarket, which is across the road, and get what I need. Unfortunately, shopping this morning, there weren't any wholemeal rolls, so I'm going to see if the supermarket's Tesco has got any. And there's also something else I think they have in there. I need some decaf green tea, which I know they sell, so I can grab some of that. But also they've been advertising that, well, I saw it on a reel actually, that they've got, I don't know if it's them or Sainsbury's, tiramisu flavour Lindt chocolates. Now I was going to get some for my boys. I won't be able to get them if they have alcohol in, because one of my boys must not have it because of his medical condition. But if they don't, then I'm going to grab a box each for them to be part of their Christmas present. I usually get them a little something chocolatey, or, you know, in fact they're still eating the chocolate I gave them for their birthday, and I bought them a little box of biscuits. What I got them was Viennese fingers with chocolate dipped end, like the piped sort of biscuit. This is yellow, and I'm going to use it in these sections. I haven't coloured another layer on yet. I'm just going to plonk it down. I'm not going to try and sharpen it. I'm not going to try and make it in fact, I think I'm going to go over the whole thing with a thick layer of yellow, trying to just make it look a bit different to this. Yeah, I was talking to them about when I was young, and we used to buy Viennese biscuits from Marks and Spencer's, and they had half of the end was dipped in chocolate. I don't know if they still sell them in Marks and Spencer's, but we don't have a Marks and Spencer's, so I thought I would get them some from Waitrose, which also did a similar type of one. I don't know if it was their own brand or Fox's or something. I just want this to look a bit more yellowy, so it doesn't look the same as this. I think I've managed that just about. Now we have these bell type, whoops, flowers. I just dropped my pencil. I didn't drop it actually, I just banged it on the desk. What should we do for these? I'm thinking we could go quite pale actually. We have a light yellow. I'm going to try it. It might be too light, but let's give it a go. Yeah, so I haven't tried them yet, and it's about a month since their birthday, but they've been eating the chocolate instead that I got them. They're very good. They're like me. Well, I didn't used to be good, but I'm much better now, where they would just have a little square a day, which I tend to these days. As I say, I used to not be as good. I'm looking at these. Do you see these here? Well, they're also here and here and here. So these seem to go all the way through the picture. So what I thought is I might make them a little bit more intense, a little bit more standout. So I'm wondering whether to use a red. We've got like an orangey red. We've got a watermelon. That's quite an orangey red. Where is it? There it is. So I'm going to do them. in watermelon, these. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to do all the little circles and stars and things that are around the edge in the same colour. It's very hard to stay in the lines. So like here and here. I just see what you can see. Just checking in the camera. This one. I'm keeping it really simple by not shading or anything, just keeping it a block colour just because it's so small. You know, we have to remember these pages have been shrunk down from much bigger books, and I don't think when Johanna drew them she ever thought that they would be shrunk down or anything, particularly as this is her first book. She may not have even thought that many people would have fallen in love with her books as much as they have, or with adult colouring, to be honest. I know that some people would have coloured children's colouring books before adult colouring was a thing, and I think that's really lovely. But I used to colour with my nieces and things. One of my nieces. I don't think my other niece did very much colouring, but it wasn't, you know, it didn't feel like it was for me, like this does, you know. I just did it with them. And of course, when you've got young children, you don't really have lots of time to sit down and just colour a picture. At least I didn't think I did. But I've managed to make the time. But then, of course, my children were a lot older when I got into colouring. They would have been, let me think, 8. So they'd have been at school. So, you know, they get a bit more time once they start school. Which I miss them a lot. They were at school, but now I get a little bit of me time, so it's okay. Right, we have these two now. Now, I was thinking of grabbing the cadmium red. I'm just looking at my swatch chart though. Yes, it's very orangey. I thought it looked orangey, and it is. So this is going to be very intense. I think I'm going to go darker against the centre part there, and then just sort of fade out towards the tip, and maybe I'll just completely ignore the outline like that, and just try this and just see how it sits once I'm done. That's the plan. I have been really enjoying the old autumnal palette, but I realise that I need to start thinking about Halloween soonish, but it's not something I'm excited about at the moment. Some years I just am not excited, but I have picked out a couple of pictures. In fact, one that I've been asked to do, and one that from a newish book. One's a sort of really cutesy picture, which I thought was rather sweet, and the other one is not really, doesn't have to be Halloweeny, but it can be, if that makes sense. So, and then of course Johanna's book has got a couple of, she's reckoned the Pumpkin House was her Halloween themed one, but I'm sure that when I saw her flip through, there are a few others that seemed a bit Halloweeny as well, but I can't remember what they were. And I don't want to go back and look at her flip through, which obviously I could. This is the vanilla flower, and it's blunt as a blunt thing on blunt day. I'm going to use it for the middles. So as I say, I can't remember what we're going to do this fluffy number. I like it a lot. I'm going to use this pencil in my hand, the vanilla flower. We can't really see it here. I want to sort of show it off on this one. Yeah, so I'm sure I thought to myself there are a couple of others that were quite Halloweeny. So I'll see when I do my flip through, which I will do as soon as I get my book. So exciting. It'll probably be, I'm hoping I get my book. Well, I've ordered through Waterstones and they tend to send out a bit early, but of course they don't get sent the books that early. So I would love it if I could get it on the 22nd, the American release date, which is 2 days before the UK release date. So unfair. So I'm hoping I can get it then, and then do a flip through for you, and then just start colouring something. I just want to start colouring something. It's so exciting. I don't think there's anything, I don't get excited about anybody else's new books in the way I do about Johanna's. I think it's because I coloured Johanna first, so when I see her pictures they feel familiar, I know exactly what I'm doing with them. I'm just looking at our next batch of flowers. I'm thinking this whole bit here, and I quite like to go orangey, because we've got orangey on the facing side, it will sort of match. What's that? That's a coral. What colour is that? Oh, we'll have to use some colours we've used already, she says as she yawns very loudly. I think I'm going to go for the orange first. I'm going to put that down like I have with the others. I might leave the centres though. I think because the centre area is quite big, I might be able to put down a different colour and make that work. Yeah, sorry about the yawning, I'm tired. I started my first HRT treatment dose last night, so I have a pill to take at night and some gel to put on, and my husband's like, do you feel any different? How did you? I said, well, I woke in the night with a hot flush, if that's what you mean. And I didn't sleep any better really. I was like, oh, and I said, but you know, did you say it takes a few weeks to work, if not up to 3 months? So we're being a bit you know, early. But I mean, the first thing is I know I'm not allergic to it. I didn't expect to be because I don't have allergies in that sense. I think I have a bit of a mould intolerance. It's not really an allergy. I don't get really well, I just get blocked up nose. So anyway, so no change so far. But what I was saying to my friend about it actually, because she said, what are the side effects? And I said, well, there's a lot of possible side effects. I think these three are part of the same. There's increased risk of certain diseases, particularly if you've got a genetic tendency. And then there's the sort of more general things like nausea, tiredness, headaches and things like that, which, yeah, there's tiredness, that's why you take it at night, and things like that. So those sorts of, but they reckon that most of these symptoms would disappear after a while. But because that increases your risk of certain diseases, I figure that I'm going to take the 3-month dose that I've been given, unless I find I get really terrible side effects. And then I'm going to sharpen up my pencil. And then I'm going to assess. So I'm still with my orange, but I'm going to put some more. So with each petal here, I'm going to make it darker near the centre and then fade it out. So we've actually got a little bit of shading on this one. So I'm going to see whether I feel much different, and also check my blood pressure, because apparently it can impact that. So I've been checking my blood pressure too. See how I feel and decide whether I think it's worth it, because I know you get a protection from osteoporosis by taking it, which is obviously quite a good thing. And as I don't eat dairy, then maybe that's something that I probably would benefit from. But there's no family history, but I don't know whether it's genetic or not. I don't know much about it, to be honest, because we don't have it in the family. I don't know a lot about it, so I'm not sure. But I figured I'd just give it a try for the 3 months and then decide whether I think it's worth it. If the side effects are too yucky, then I think, well, actually I might have felt better without it. If I feel only a little bit better, I might think, well, maybe it's not worth it, you know. But if I feel massively better, then I'll be like, well, perhaps it is. And it's not really the hot flushes, although I moan about them when I'm on the stream. The hot flushes don't really bother me hugely unless it's the middle of summer. and the ones in the day are bearable. It's the ones at night that you get when you wake up and then you have insomnia, you can't go back to sleep. That's quite nasty. So, you know, if I have to go back to having those, I don't think I'll be devastated. It's more the sort of mood changes and things that, you know, I was most keen to try to help. So we'll see what happens. Also, yeah, I get a lot of other symptoms, although I get a lot of dry skin. I've been using moisturiser. I mean, it's an easy way to combat it, isn't it, really? Now, the centres of these, I think I want to do them darker. So I'm going to use this ginger brown. Do you remember we used it right at the beginning for the berry? So I'm going to use this for the centres of these. So I'm going to use around this bit here. And then around here. Yeah, so dry skin. My hair stopped growing. But my doctor, when I mentioned it, she said that's just old age. And what's the other thing I mentioned to her? Oh, food intolerances. Old age. Thank you. I don't feel that old. Right, now here we've got to make a decision. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all circular and they look like they're similar. I think I probably will do them similarly. I might do them in a more reddish or darkish orange colour, I think. What have we got? We've got cadmium red, which is quite dark, and the bronze. I think I'd grab that bronze actually. And what I'm going to do with the bronze is do the centre quite defined. That'll be it for the centre, and then do a little layer of this over the whole thing. Okay. So we'll just wait and see really whether things change. I think it's interesting to try, and actually I think I mentioned in a previous video that when I went to the doctor my blood pressure was quite high, so I'm keeping an eye on that because you know, I don't want that going too high. But interestingly, I tested it the day I went to the doctor's and it was still quite high at home. I was like, oh. And then the day after it was quite low-ish, lower than average, only a little bit, lower than the normal, you know, within normal. I was like, oh, okay. And then, but what I'd done was I decided not to have any salt on my evening meal because salt's supposed to put it up. And then last night I put a little bit of salt on my evening meal. I've been taking my blood pressure in the evenings, and it went up a little bit. I was like, ooh, is this a thing? Because there is a condition where there is a genetic condition where you react to salt. Your blood pressure reacts to salt. Not everybody's does, which I didn't realise. I thought everybody's did because that's what they will say, don't eat salt for blood pressure and all that sort of thing. But it seems like it's it doesn't affect everybody, which was, as I say, a big surprise to me. Right, we are going to use the watermelon now, and we're going to do a few little bits and pieces. So here I'm going to use it in the centre, not on the centre of the flower, on the bases of the petals, and then just gradually fade it up to the tips so they look a little bit red. And then these bits I'm going to do a little bit on the bottom. I need it quite sharp, might possibly not sharp enough, but it's okay. So I was looking at what other things affect blood pressure. Smoking and drinking, I don't do either of those. Caffeine, don't have that. Eating lots of saturated fat, I don't. Being overweight, I'm not. I'm being old, I am. Well, not old, but older, you know, as you go up in increase in age, it goes up. So it's like, okay, that one. Can't do anything about that though. Haven't invented my time machine yet. So even then, just don't reverse your age when you travel in time. So no, haven't been able to do that, anything about that one. So salt was the only thing really, and it did. Oh, that's a bit odd. That sort of chipped off. I don't know what happened there. Maybe there was something loose that I coloured on top of. Anyway, it's gone now. So the only things I could really do, make much changes to, I thought, well, maybe I might benefit from going down a bit of weight, even though I'm a normal weight. But I don't really think I need to do that, so I wasn't going to worry about that. And I thought with the salt thing, so tonight the meal I'm having has more salt in than the one I had last night, so it'll be an interesting test. And then tomorrow we have a really salty meal, because Sunday nights, it's Saturday today, Sunday nights we always have the same meal, so we have tortilla chips with it, so obviously it's salted, and we have stock cube in the sauce that we make, so there's quite a bit of salt. So that one will be a test, and I'm just sort of testing to see whether the salt makes a significant difference, because if it does, I'm going to be aware of that, because it's quite easy to, well, I say quite easy, not that easy, but you know, it's something I can control. I can reduce it, I can give it up, make sure I'm not having too much, etc. Because one thing I was reading said, you know, if you give up salt within a few weeks, or reduce it within a few weeks, you'll see a difference in your blood pressure. I was like, okay. And my sister said, so it takes a few weeks to have an effect. I was like, actually, I read somewhere else that within hours of the salty meal, your blood pressure can go up 5 to 10 points. So, you know, you have to be a bit careful. So it just got me thinking, really. And also, oh, the other thing is exercise. I haven't been exercising very much, so I figure I need to do that. It looks quite pink, doesn't it? Well, we've got this one to do. I'm going to do these, and then we probably we'll do the leaves in a separate video, and the little critters. And we've got bees, snail, butterflies, dragonfly. Do all those at the end once I've decided on colour. But we'll just do these. I think we need to do them orange because, or orangey yellow, maybe. Maybe that's a nice, maybe the vanilla flower. I think that's also orangey yellow. Yeah, so exercise, I'm thinking, right, I'd already decided that I needed to do more exercise. I've really been a bit rubbish. So I was like, right, need to do that. So today we drove to town. I did a little bit of walking, and then I did the cleaning up and down the stairs and things. I thought, well, that might be okay. And then, yeah, I just need to make sure that's so, it's like that, isn't it? We need to put some orange on top of there. Let's grab the autumn orange. It seems an appropriate colour. And darken each of these a little bit. You can leave the tip a bit yellow if you want, but I really need to make them look different to that, don't I? Oh. So, yeah, exercise is the thing that I can also do. So, like tomorrow, what I might do is when I'm going to go with my husband, as I said, to the art exhibition. He may not make it, actually. He just can't always face going out. If he doesn't, I'll walk there and back. Otherwise, I'll walk in one direction just to, you know, to make sure I get some exercise. It's about 35-40 minutes walk, so it's quite a good walk. That's each way. Okay, that's all I'm going to do today. I think that's enough for you, especially if you're having to convert the colours. It takes a little while, doesn't it? So I'm going to leave that, and then we're going to do the leaves. Oh gosh, I'm suddenly really cold. Brr, I get a cardigan before I do the next bit. Could do the leaves, and then, oh, excuse me, give some thought to these little critters and what colour they might be. But for now, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Monday, assuming it is Monday you're watching this on. Yeah, have a super day, and happy colouring.